All right, we've definitely got a quorum. And so we move on to the minutes. Mark. We'll move on to the minutes from the August 5th meeting. You have all had a chance to look at them. Are there any comments we need to make on those minutes?
This is where you can say, Charlene, they're wonderful.
Charlene, they're wonderful.
Charlene is far better at writing and composing than I could ever be. I'm glad we've got her as secretary. I think it's fantastic. All right. There being no comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
I make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Now, since we're doing this virtually, I've got to go around the chart and ask each of you how you vote. So, Jack, you're first. How do you vote, yay or nay?
Yay.
Peter?
Yay.
Jim Thurman?
He said yay.
Yay.
Doug Rose?
Yay. Yay.
Larry?
Yay.
Fred?
Yay.
Yay.
And I vote yay. And so the minutes are approved.
Man, it's exhausting.
I know, it's terrible. But she does a better job of writing minutes than I could ever.
Okay.
All right, we'll move into unfinished business now. And I want to welcome Fred back. We'll give him a chance to chat later on when MVAC members talk, or able to talk. The treasurer's report. What's going on?
Okay, not much change from the last time we met. We have the $33,400 carryover from last year and the year before. We were told by the Director of Finance of Matthews that's correct. We have the new appropriation, $2,500 for this current fiscal year that we're in now. A total of $5,918 to use in this fiscal year. So far, we've only spent or allocated $867. That's for the flags for the memorial project. However, we're going to spend a couple more dollars on that for a couple of reasons. One is the American flag did not come with an eagle, and so we're going to purchase the eagle separately. I talked to Condor Flag. They're going to give us a 20% discount instead of 10%, so that's going to help a little bit. And also, the flagpoles came with this little rubber ducky thing, okay, for the top. That's not quite appropriate, so somebody in the Legion had a great idea about getting some of these hitches, these aluminum steel hitches, to put on top of the flagpoles. That's going to work. It'll cost us $60. So at this point, I'm asking for your approval to spend money for the eagle and these tops for the flagpoles.
So.
The other thing is the American flag, the Air Force flag came in. It didn't say Air Force on it. And so I talked to Condor about that. They're going to replace that. In fact, they've already have put it together. I'm going to pick it up next week. It'll be a typical Air Force, U.S. Air Force flag. So we'll have the six service flags and the U.S. flag available in a week or two. Okay. The next thing I'd like to talk about is progress on the memorial project that the Legion has taken the lead on. I'm going to talk about the financial end of it, and later on, I think we'll have somebody talking about the progress itself of the building of it. So far, revenues, we've received 70 donations. We meaning the Legion, 70 donations, including the one from MVAC for these flags. Okay, and MVAC, by the way, was a second donation for the program. $10,500. That's 70 donations. Total 70 donations. Of that, 26 were online. They can use a credit card. Donators can use a credit card and send money for the project. There were 8 direct cash check type donations. which I had one. Okay, and there was 36 brick donations. The brick donations is you can have, if you would like, as yourself, a military veteran or family like your father or your uncle, whomever, you can buy a brick for $100 and have it placed in a memorial. I bought 10. I bought one for my dad, one for myself, and 8 for my Gorgoglione family, 4 brothers who served and 4 sisters who served in their own way, either at working at a defense factory or like my mom, who was a singer at the USO. So I'm buying 10 bricks to be placed in a memorial. So think about that as we go forward. The net cash donations after fees was $10,200. We've had some non-cash donations, including MVAC for the 867. Lowe's has donated the concrete blocks, $400 for the program. And I think Mark later will talk about some other donations, non-cash or in donations for the program. So total cash and non-cash was $11,500 so far. Total expenses so far, $6,200. So we're ahead of the game, but we got a lot more to go. So if you would think about where you are, what you're thinking about, and how you can contribute to this program, which is for Matthews and the veterans. That's all I got.
I think Michael Vento was going to look in what we might be able to do from that standpoint also, but I don't have a report from him right now on that. Any discussions on that? There being none, let's go on to the U.S. flag project on Trade Street being revisited by Peter. Peter, how are we doing? What are your thoughts?
I went and took some pictures, and can I share some content on here?
Sure, of course you can.
Let's see if I can find it. All right, so you should be able to see that one right there.
Those are the ones I have been talking about all along.
If you see up on top of this, you see that little piece that comes out?
Yeah.
That is where they would put a flag at. See, there's a little tiny piece up on top. Can you see when I scan into it?
Yep.
So that little tiny piece is where you can see it on top with the mount. That's where the flag would go on. There is right there in this one is right in front of the Irish pub. Let me see if I can pull another one.
So are those the ones we cannot use?
No, these are the large poles. And then I'm going to show you another one.
Huh.
All right, so here is at right there at the corner at where the 2 gas stations are.
Right.
You can see there's a little tiny, and these are about, I would say, 16 to 18 feet off the ground.
And those are the ones, the day I was, when I made a comment that the American flags were out there, that's where there was, I distinctly remember one in there, and then the rest of them, I don't know how, did you happen to count them, Peter?
Yeah, just right here in the downtown area.
Yeah.
At those 2 main intersections, there's like 4 of them in between. So there's about 12 total. To actually put a flag on. I think I might have, let me see if I got another picture. Here's another one. You can see, here's over at the corner.
Right.
You can see that black mount right there?
Right.
That's to put a flag on. So the mounts are already there. It just needs a pole and a flag.
So
And it looks like there's a little set screw. Looks like there's a little set screw on them too to hold that pole in place.
Did you actually start looking from Christopher's down to the fire station?
Yes. I didn't go all the way to the fire station. There are some right around Stumptown Park. Right around the park.
Did you count those?
Well, they're so odd. Like one will be way off the road, and the other one will be close. And I would say there's probably another 4 to 6 through there.
Now that's down to Stumptown Station, or is it down to the park?
It's probably, there's not a whole lot past the park.
But no, but your count of 12 was starting roughly at Christopher's and coming down Trade, and it's
Yes, those 2 intersections.
and at the big intersection of John and Trade.
Yes.
So it
So
would be
be-
from that up to
Those,
Christopher's.
at those 2 intersections and in between, there's about 12 of them.
Okay.
By chance, were there any, did you happen to look down toward where Jekyll and Hyde and, that area is with a,
I didn't see any down that way.
I just wondered if.
Now, another thing is right there at that barbecue place on the corner next to Christopher's,
Right.
that barbecue place, that's right by the pizza place, they're putting in new poles right now.
Okay, it's part of that road project, okay.
Yeah, they're doing some road stuff there, and they've actually put in a new pole. It's a lot bigger than the original ones, which we couldn't put the flags on. But these ones this is a lot larger pole, larger in diameter. So are they replacing all those?
I
I remember saying that they were just going to replace the light, the actual light on top, but
I think that's just because that's a whole little road project right there for the pedestrian walkway. That's its own little project right there they're having to redo.
okay. That might be why they just put a newer light in.
Yeah. 'Cause
Okay.
they're trying to light that all up to make people be able to cross the street there better.
But if we put them at the intersections, because there is 6 in a set. I got that right? Yeah, there's 6 flags in a set. If we just do 2 sets with poles,
Or if you do think there might be another 6 down past Stumptown, and if that's odd, that's 18, so that's still just 3 sets.
yeah, that's right. And we don't have to build any custom brackets, so it's a lot cheaper than
You're right.
it would be like. I think with the pole and the flag, we were somewhere in the $80 area. So it'd be $80 each.
Can I join in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the questions are, how many do we need? Where do we need to place them? Do we have approval to place them? And how much do they cost? And can the brackets be made? For example, Peter, once I know the size, I can go by myself to Condor Flags and get some cost estimates and maybe talk to them about a 20% discount. We'll see. But also they make brackets too. So it's possible they can help us with that. So
The brackets are already there, Jack.
pardon?
The
Okay,
brackets
fine.
are already there.
Okay, so what I need then is the size of the flags and how many, and I can go check it out, or both of us can go check it out if you have time. So I'm there to help you, so let me know.
We need to talk about, we probably want to do the 3x5 flag that we've talked about already.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I would suggest we go to, is it Public Works that puts up the American flags?
Because they already got the poles.
I would suggest we talk to them and see what they're putting up and see if maybe those poles are interchangeable, maybe not. Just see what they're doing. And so if they have a 3x5 or is it, and just piggyback on them, if that's okay with the town, once we get close enough to asking the town. We're not there yet, but that sheds a lot of light on it, Peter. That's good. That's good. That's good work.
If the brackets are there, and I think we've always talked about 3x5.
Excuse me, is that what's flying there right now? Are they 3x5?
there's nothing there right now.
But when you showed us the video, I mean, you showed us there was something hanging there, no?
Yeah,
that
you're
was a
looking at the
banner.
wrong thing.
That was something else.
Yeah, that's a different kind of flag.
Let me show you
That's
again.
the flag Colleen liked, by Charlene, excuse me.
That's what I've been talking about all along. Why are we just not fitting in those spots?
I think it's too expensive.
So you see this flag,
Yeah, that banner.
the
Yeah,
banner, there's a little bracket above it that goes
Right.
out at a 45.
Oh, okay.
That is where the flag would go out on a pole.
Well, this begs a good question that Charlene is bringing up. Do we like the banner instead of the flag? But the thing is, I think we kiboshed that because of the expense, right, Peter? Wouldn't that be much more expensive?
It was $4,000.
Yeah. I like the banner because they would slide right on, but I think that may be cost prohibitive.
We don't know until we check out Wakanda. They do banners too.
Well, I don't know, Tom. What do you think?
I think,
I'm sorry, I'm jumping in, but I mean, again, if we go to the town and ask them, because they have those, like the first Thursday when they were having the gathering for the first Thursday, that flag will get changed out for each of the
Right.
So somebody is making those. So I just think we need to ask the town, do they have a deal with somebody that's making this? Because then they know exactly how many of those banners they're putting up each time. And they know exactly how many of those flags they're putting up each time. So somebody needs to go to the town and ask them who's putting up I guess it's the Public Works. And how much have they paid for those themselves? Maybe they've got somebody they're getting them through.
Because those have to be custom made, though.
Right.
Whereas the flags don't.
True. I mean, I am totally in agreement that it is cheaper to do the other. I mean, I'm for either one. I just always thought, why didn't we piggyback on those banners? But
if
Well, we still should. We owe it to ourselves to find out what the banners cost.
Right.
through the town. Through Public Works, where are they getting them from and how much they cost? The First Thursday people, that group might have bought their own themselves. I don't know.
Do you think that might be the Chamber of Commerce?
No, there's a whole different group. I can ask Desi. Desi, let me text Desi right now. Because Desi used to be, if she was on that committee for that First Thursday for that business group, that's a whole separate little committee. So I'm going to ask her right now.
Okay.
All right, right now we've got funds to do the flags, whether we get 12 or we get 18, 2 or 3 sets. It's not an issue. If the banners are going to cost into thousands of dollars, and we need to explore that, I guess, via the town, then I think that's pretty cost prohibitive for us to do that type of thing, at least in my opinion. That type of thing, obviously, we have to vote on.
It sounded to me like Jack was going to run that down this week.
I can do that. Yeah, Peter, I can do that.
So
He needs
Jack,
something to
you're
do.
going what? Jack,
What?
you're going to do what? You're going to run what down?
If I can find out the size of the banners, I can find out what the cost of the banners are.
Oh, from Congress.
Condor, yes.
Okay.
I've developed a good rapport, Tom, as you know, with Condor
Right.
flags.
They're good people.
Yeah, so I think we can talk to them with no problem. Now, Charlene may be totally correct too, that going through the town to how they bought them may be better. We don't know, but we have to look at all angles and all roads to find out what's best for us and for the town.
Peter, this is project you've been leading. Are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, I'm good with whoever wants to do whatever.
Okay.
I mean, I've been very busy.
Yeah.
So I haven't had a whole lot of time.
Peter, we couldn't tell you were busy. No, we had no idea.
Okay. So we're gonna revisit that. Now, let's pretend a moment. If we choose to do, and we gotta go to the town, Peter, you're gonna go to Public Works, I assume, and ask them. Or is Jack gonna do that? Jack?
I need the size.
Yeah, but someone needs to talk to Public Works.
Well, who's been talking to them before? Peter, you've been talking to them already, right?
Yeah, I've only talked to him a couple times, but
Okay. So we'll talk to Public Works and make sure there's not an issue. And then we as a committee, can go to the town board and say, we've revisited the project that we could not do last fiscal year, and this is what it is, and I'm sure you will approve it. And I'm sure they will. There won't be an issue, but at least we will be able to put them up with the town's permission. Any other discussion on that?
Desi doesn't know how much they cost. She knows that First Thursday paid for their own, so that wasn't like something the town did. I'm asking her, did she get them through a town source or someone else? Does she remember?
Okay.
So I'll answer, as soon as she answers me that back, I'll chime back into you.
All right. Yes.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Who is putting those up? Who's doing the 60 veterans?
Don't you think that would be kind of interesting information that we should know?
Yeah.
That's what I was sitting here thinking, wow, that's something somebody.
This is the first I've ever heard of this.
Me.
Well, somebody is dropping the ball. I mean, we have a Matthews Veterans Advisory Committee that should probably know about that kind of stuff. So somebody at town needs to help us.
Well,
I second that motion.
Approved it, and for Memorial Day, so be it. Our flags can be for Veterans Day.
Well, it sounds to me like we just forget about the banners then, if that's gonna be the case. I don't wanna put money into something banner wise, and then we don't get to fly it on veterans. So if we pay for the others, then we've got more chances of having them up more.
I agree with that.
That's odd that they wouldn't contact us on it, though.
Yeah, where did the,
We are their Veterans Advisory Organization. That's all. Yes. I was aware of what they were doing in Chester and what he and Penny had seen, yes. Okay.
It's
No,
okay.
no one's shooting anybody. I'm just,
It's a bummer.
well, if indeed that be the case, I guess maybe I should go to the mayor and say, help me understand, because we're intending right now at this moment, they have not voted on it, we're intended at this moment to put up flags, and if it's for Veterans Day week, so be it. We have the money, and the town already knew we wanted to put up flags. It just that we had issues with Duke Power.
Right.
Wouldn't the flags block the banners?
I don't think so.
If
Okay.
we got the 3x5s and they're up there at a 45-degree angle, I don't think it'll be an issue.
Okay.
All right. Let me help me with this now, so I don't get adrift. Right now, we're not going to do banners because it looks like banners for Memorial Day have been spoken for by the town. The town's funding them. We have a proposal to buy 12 or 18 or 2 or 3 sets of U.S. service flags to be flown on those 2 holiday weeks, Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And Jack's going to talk a little bit with
Condor.
Condor on that, and Peter's going to chat a little bit with Public Works on this to make sure there's no issue. All right. Can we vote on that? Or do we have enough information, Peter, to be able to vote on it?
We don't, because we don't have a cost or anything. We can't vote that we're going to buy the flags because we don't have our cost yet.
Okay.
I think we're still in the fact finding, the information gathering stage.
All right, let's get the cost of the flags and we'll vote on them next month.
And
So
there's-
Peter, help
Yes,
me
sir.
with the number of flags, and I will revisit that cost with them.
Okay.
So when you get a chance, send me a note.
Okay. I did
How
just
many
send
flags and
you, I
which-
sent you an email on the banner sizes, so you can just forget about that.
Okay.
I will have you an email by Friday sometime.
That's fine. I'm going to visit with them next week.
Let me go walk the road and count all of them, and I'll put out like the options. From here to there, we need this many, or from here to there, we need this many.
Okay. I'm going to visit with them probably Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
Okay.
Peter,
Yes, ma'am.
I think to save you some time and walking, if you just call Public Works and say, how many do you put out? And that'll be our number, because they're the ones that are going to be putting it out anyway. And where have they been getting them from? What do they pay for them? That's your cost. And then Jack can get his cost from Condor, and then we're comparing the two.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of them in very odd places that it's like we would be wasting money putting one there.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Like they're on some off roads that you
Right.
don't even know how to get. That there's some out there that I think we should just keep them on the main strip there, and I'll go walk it, and I'll figure out the good places to put it.
Okay.
Okay, very good. All right, let's move on to Veteran of the Year. Doug, you've done a lot of good work. Tell us about it.
Thanks. So first of all, I'm going to apologize because as soon as I get done with my update, I'm going to have to get back to work. I'm working at the 2020 census, so I'm hoping everybody went ahead and filled out their censuses.
I did.
Oh, yeah, a long time ago.
I hope so. But we're still busy. Anyway, first of all, very grateful to Lori and I think Tanya for helping us get the fillable form and made it a lot easier for our folks when I passed out the forms to the folks to fill them out and return them. So I did send them out to Tim Woods over there at the VFW. He says he's got one possible candidate that he'll send us before the end of the week. Of course, Bill Campbell, Tom's been talking with him also. I think Tom actually received 2 of them from him today. Joe McChosh and Bill Campbell himself are some of the nominees coming out of there. So 2 of them from Plantation Estates. Bill's question, and one that we need to look at, was, must the potential recipient be living at least at the time of submission? So I guess because they're at Plantation Estates, that's a good question to ask. So there may be somebody who is recommended for an award and may not be, it may be post, what do you want to call it? Post-mortem by the time they get awarded in November. So that is a question that nobody's asked before, and I wanted to bring that up to the committee to see is that plausible.
I don't think there's anything in our guidance that says a candidate's got to be alive. I don't think we even dreamed about that when it was being worked on a couple 3 years ago.
Right. So for me, I'm thinking that somebody could have done some really great things throughout the year. It could have been the same thing. They could have gotten in a car accident or something else. It could have been some other mishap. So is there like a minimal amount of time, or is it just the fact that that person did good deeds throughout that part of the year? Is there a time limit on how much time they served or did their...
All right. NDAC members speak. Jack, you've got your hand up.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a soldier and there's a Marine. Okay, I'm looking at Larry. Okay, and he served overseas now in Afghanistan. Okay, he was nominated and then he was killed. Okay, can he not receive it like somebody else who receives a Purple Heart or any kind of medal? That's my. I say yes.
Vote is, but I think what Doug's asking is when they're nominated, they have to be living. If something happens to them by the time it's decided, that's okay. They could still win if they're chosen to win. But when they're nominated, do they need to be living?
Well, nominations are due at the end of the 15th of September. So they could have done some good things throughout the year, maybe only 6 months or 8 months. But again, if it's a postmortem, the family or the spouse or somebody else could receive that award, couldn't they?
Yeah, that's what I would think. But is that what your question is at the time of the nomination? So you're saying like maybe as long as they only pass during the year of the nomination.
Correct. They may not have served, or they may not have been, what do you want to call it? The nomination may not have gone through that entire period, but if they started, what are we doing it? Fiscal year or calendar year anyway? I forget.
Calendar.
Do we do fiscal? Okay.
I think it's calendar.
Okay, so if we're doing a calendar year, if they go through March and did great things for 3 months, and they could still be nominated in September for the 3 months they were president, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Larry, what do you say?
Another comment.
Go ahead, Jack.
It doesn't necessarily mean the past 6 to 12 months. It could be the past 10 years that this person has served in Matthews and or the community and or the military. So it's not just the past several months.
Larry, what do you think?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think the first gentleman that we actually, that's in, it's for that person's whole body of work over several years. This gentleman did a lot for the town and the Boy Scouts and everything else. So I think, if someone fits the bill, just put the application in because it comes to us anyway. We'll look at it. We'll look at, and if that person happens to have been deceased, we'll still consider it and we'll pick the best person. And if we pick that person, we'll try to get a family member to show up. I think if it warrants an application, we'll look at it. That makes it easy.
Fred.
Jay, I agree totally with Larry. I mean, if someone has done a lot for the community for the last 5, 6, 7 years, if we get a nomination, we should consider it.
Jim Thurman. Jim Thurman.
Can't hear you, Jim.
Jim, you're muted.
Jim, you're muted.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Okay,
Jim.
what's your question?
The question is for a Veteran of the Year nominee. If after he is nominated, he passes, has an accident, something, should he still be considered among all the other candidates?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, Peter, what do you think?
I think as long as that person was a resident, it doesn't really matter when they passed away, if they made contributions to the community.
Okay. All right, sounds like we're all in agreement. I don't think we need to vote on it.
Well, I think you've got two different versions though there. Like, one person is saying, is it going to be only if they've been nominated and they pass away? But then Larry is saying that if somebody nominates someone that passed away 10 years ago, we're still going to consider that person. Did I understand that right, Larry?
No.
I really didn't think about that, that long ago. I mean, I don't know.
I think we're looking at candidates who are active right now.
I kind of think we are.
Barry said the person or the people nominated may have been doing these types of things for 5-10 years, like our first candidate was, and the second one.
If I can make a comment, I think on the process or the procedures that we wrote up, we put a bio in there. The bio talks about the person, who he was, what he did from his former life. But this is a Veteran of the Year, so every year we go through another cycle, and I'm not sure if our guidelines say that it's for this year or for prior to this fiscal year, because it is the 2020 Veteran of the Year award. So we need to make clear. We need to make that clear if it's activity done throughout the year or if it's activities prior to it and including this year.
I think that
That's a good point.
activity that's being done during this year is very important, but good backup information is what this person may have done in the past, as it was with our first candidate for many years. I think, Doug, you've got it right. But if someone is done well, they're standout people, veterans, residents of Matthews, and we want to nominate them, it would help also for what they've done this year. It would help back up for what they may have done in the past also.
And hence, that's why we asked for the bio.
Right. Now, Charlene, are we together?
I think so. I just want to make sure I'm putting it in the minutes right. So we are saying that the Veteran of the Year is what they've done in the past and what they're doing now.
Okay.
All right.
Now, look, Doug, you've got more to talk about.
Yes, but again, we're saying post-mortem, so we are going, or do we need to vote on it, or I just tell Mr. Bill Campbell that yes, we will accept a an application post-mortem, if the person passes away during that time frame.
Right during that year, yes.
I don't see any reason why you can't.
Right.
Okay, got it.
We're all sitting here and we've all agreed without even doing a formal vote.
Right.
I don't know if it's
Okay, so that was a question. That was a question that he had. I will reply to him that yes, you can submit a nomination on a person who is deceased or passed through during the year, so long as that person has provided what do you want to call it? Again,
Service?
not assistance, service during this calendar year, sometime during the calendar year, and of course the bio will talk about his past contributions. Okay, so
I don't think that's something we have to vote on, Tom, because I think it's just doing clarity. We're just
Yes.
providing some clarity to what we've been doing.
Right.
And
Tom, you can jump in and tell us if you think.
and then when Doug has his candidates and he's given folks a deadline to get them into him, which is right before mid-September, he's going to send those candidates to us. And we need to talk about how do we deal with them, and for the past 2 years, last year, the previous mayor wanted 2 candidates for him to consider, and so we gave him 2.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think Doug's got to go, and so we need to let him finish his report, and then we can go with our procedure.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on. So again, I sent the forms also to Mark Tefano, who's online. Of course, I love to say commander of the hooks and oars of the American Legion. And with that, Jack submitted a candidate, a recommendation nomination for Steve Wilsong. So we have his nomination also. So that's 2 from the Plantation Estates, 1 from Mark and his group. I also emailed and finally got some replies back from Blake Byrne of the Veterans Bridge Home. They replied back today and said they had 2 candidates. And I did confirm that they both lived in the town of Matthews, a Chad Slack and a Abby Hyde. They provided those names today. So they're going to provide me with their nomination forms. All they did was say that those are 2 folks that they had from previous activities that they have done with the Veterans Bridge Home that they would like to nominate. And then, of course, we still have from last year's nomination, C.W. Perkins. So in summary, we have 4 confirmed nominations. We have 3 possible nominations. So the 4 confirmed is 2 from Plantation Estates, 1 from Mark from the American Legion through Jack, 1 from last year, and then the 3 probable are the 2 from the Veterans Bridge Home and 1 from the VFW. So it looks like we have a total of 7 by mid-September.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Good job, Doug.
All right,
No worries. So go ahead.
before Doug has to leave, or you're not done. I'm sorry, Doug. Go ahead.
So the last thing that I had to add on there is, and you already answered it, I'll go ahead and send them, I'll group them all together instead of doing them piece by piece. I don't want to send 1 nomination here, 1 nomination there. I'll grab the entire package and send it out in the email to the group email that I have, or I don't know if I have everybody in there. That was my question, as to who to send it to. So long as I have the group email for everybody so that we can consider it beyond the 15th of September to our next meeting, which I think is the 7th of October. That way we can vote on the two or so that go forward.
Very good. And I'll make
Great job, Doug.
I'll make
Thank
sure
you.
you got the latest email addresses.
Perfect. And then my last question was, and I asked Blake, what if we have a late nomination, a late submission? How late will we go with if somebody comes in 3 days late, a week or 2 late, because we're still getting the word out? Are we going to accept it? Or are we going to hold fast and steady to our 15th September deadline and just use that one for the next year?
So, Doug, didn't we give everybody the date for submission? They have that. They have enough time, I think, to come up with candidates. I think, yes, that's the cutoff date. That's my opinion.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, so we agree with that one. So I agree with that also. I just wanted to put it out to you guys because the Veterans Bridge Home, which was the last one that I contacted, only had like 2 or 3 weeks, but they did have time to look at it. We did contact them with more than 30 days. They're an established group, and if they have a Veteran of the Month award for those guys, they can definitely turn those around and put them in for Veteran of the Year if they live in Matthews.
Amen.
And I think they were the ones, one of their people were the ones who gave us a nomination last year for C.W. Perkins. If I remember.
Okay.
Right.
Good job, guys.
Okay, so that concludes my thing. I don't think I was going to ask again to have the committee continue to solicit other businesses and venues around Matthews, but with 7 candidates, I think we're going to have more than enough.
Save them for next year.
Great.
And I'll take a beer at the next meeting, or a picture.
You need to be there, Doug.
I'll make time for that.
And I've got news of where we may meet next time. So, but anyhow,
Awesome.
we're going to have to we'll have to get together and hash through these, and then probably send 2 forward to the mayor for him to make his decision. But that's great. Good job, Doug. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And with that, I am going to go ahead. I got to get back to work. I'm working until 9 o'clock, so I've been voided the last 30, 40 minutes. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, good. Great progress. All right, color swung for a day. Charlene.
Just waiting on to when we're going to meet with the mayor, and I'll put something together to tell him what we want to do. But talk to him. I don't know about putting.
Well, give me a for instance, what some kind of a vision.
I mean, I think basically they're going to just really want to make sure it's not something that's an expense. So I think we'll just let them know that we want to, they're going to be provided by Woodmo of the World. We want them to put the flag up on the day, on a day, whether it be the day they're going to present the flag or whatever day they want to do it. And it flies for that veteran, comes back down, folded up, and given to that veteran when they present them with their award and their medal. I would like to pull in junior ROTC programs to fold the flag, but somebody pulls that flag down and does it anyway with the town. So I'm sure whoever they have doing that will be fine also. But I think it'd be great to pull in the junior ROTC programs to come out and fold that for us. But that would be just a matter of asking them how they want to handle that, as long as they're flying the flag. And we can make sure, I have no problem with being the focus on getting them the flag each time. I mean, it's just going to be getting them the one flag for right now for Veteran of the Year, and when we start back up the honor flights, making sure we get another flag to them for that. But I have no problem being the one that brings the flag to them and says, here it is for this person.
I'm trying to make the leap. When do we see them? And it's my understanding now from Tanya that the next meeting our next meeting will probably be together like we used to at Town Hall, which is great as far as we're concerned. We don't have to do this virtual thing.
How about I make this, when I did this for Zachary, I arranged it through Lori. Why don't I just speak with Lori about this and just say, who would the powers that be we need to talk about this? She may just say that she just needs to go ask stuff about this, and we don't have to go present anything in any kind of a meeting. So I'll reach out to Lori and just say, this is what we're wanting to do. What do I need to do to get it done?
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trifle update, Larry.
Okay, so everything that we needed to change has been submitted, and I don't know if Tanya's on. It was submitted, and she was going to have somebody take a look at it. So once they say, okay, it's good to go, or if they recommend a change, then we can go ahead and go to press.
Tanya's here.
Yeah, it's in the hands of the town PIO right now.
Right.
As I get it back from her, I will definitely send it back to you.
Okay, sounds good.
And then we're gonna print how many, Larry? 500?
No, I thought it was 1,000, and it was somewhere in the 200 and something, was it? $200 or $300?
Okay. Very good. Any questions on the trifold update for Larry?
Yeah, I got okay, so all the past few years, we've been doing the trifolds through a certain company,
Right.
okay? But there's another company in town, in Matthews, that does trifolds, and I think you saw some of those that were done for this memorial project, done very inexpensively. I wonder if we shouldn't go to them also and say, what do you think? We need this many thousand. And Larry, I can do this. This many thousand, how much does it cost? Mark, what do you think about that? Mark? Okay. So anyway, I can do that. I can, right. Well, no, I wouldn't ask him I just asked him for a competitive price. Yes, just for, again, due diligence, making sure we're getting what we need at the price we need. Right, right. So, but that's an alternative. That's a second printer we can go to look for, see what we have to pay. Larry?
Just make sure about setup fees and stuff that's not extra. Like
absolutely.
1,000 is 200, but is there an extra 300 for setup? Since this is already all set up with the other one, and they already have.
You're absolutely correct. Thank you.
Larry, you're the lead on this. What do you think?
I have no problem, with somebody checking something out. I'm a little leery about changing this horse at midstream since they're already sitting on we already had them do the draft and everything. It's not like I'm going and saying, hey, what would you do for this? They've already set this up.
Larry, I'm with you, Larry. I agree with you. Okay. And like Charlene said, there's a setup cost also. Yeah. So it may not work out, but I think we need to make sure we do what we need to do to ensure we're getting the proper cost for what we're doing.
Yeah. That's always standard operating procedure to get the best price.
And this company we're dealing with now, Larry, that we have been dealt in the past, they do a lot of work for the town also. So I'm not saying we need to change it. I'm just saying we need to check it out.
Yeah, that won't hurt.
So I need to know how many and a copy of it, so I can go to them and say, okay, what do you think, guys?
Well, when the final copy comes out, we'll make sure we all get it.
All right, cool.
And then we were talking about making another 1,000 of them, and that way we keep those two things stocked and everything else.
All right.
Okay.
Larry,
my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Is there a certain time frame we need to get it done?
I don't know how many of the old ones we still have. One of the changes is to get names changed and stuff. This is not.
We have plenty. The only thing the biggest thing we've got about the old one is there's some locations that have changed, and there's one of those little things you take your cell phone on and you shine it on and it gives you a message. It talks about what's going on for some months in 2017. So those are way out of date, and we just need to replace them.
Yeah, but it's not like an emergency,
No.
must need it next week or anything. We're okay for right now. We don't want to delay it too long, but there's no immediate, emergency.
I got you.
And we got funding. It's not an issue.
Right.
All right, can we move on?
Yep.
Display cases, Jim Thurman.
Yes, I'm going to be checking the display cases every 2 to 3 weeks to see if they're updated. If
Good.
anybody has anything you think needs to be in there, let me know. And Larry, when you get those revised trifolds, let me know, or either put them upstairs in the town hall and we'll get them out.
Okay, hopefully, if we're getting back together, we'll probably want to give Jim a certain amount of those so he can make, he can keep those things stocked.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, anything else on display cases?
Not a thing. We just need to keep them up to date.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking that one on board.
You're certainly welcome.
Number 8, Town Council Liaison. Do you have any words of wisdom and guidance for us, Tanya?
Nothing other than what you and I discussed a little earlier, that the town board is going to start meeting in person, the second meeting in September. So that will allow your October meeting to be in person if you so choose. It's up to the committee whether or not you guys want to meet in person or continue on Zoom. You'll just need to let us know so that we can number one, advertise the meeting the proper way, and number two, ensure that the hood room is set up properly, because we will still need to socially distance. Everyone will be required to wear a mask. So we'll need to set up the hood room so that there's room for everyone to be spaced out.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
excuse me, could that change, Tanya? Could it change at the last minute? I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it could.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Honestly, with the governor going to phase 2.5 on Friday, I don't suspect it will. But, you know, with COVID, anything's possible.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. Want to welcome Fred back. Fred, do you have any comments?
Well, I'm trying to play catch up for and sitting here taking a lot of notes. And of course, you and I are going to be getting together in a few days to get me up to snuff on what's been going on. And I'm looking forward to that.
What we're looking forward to, I'd like to be able to get you and the executive committee together, maybe over a bottle of wine, and we just sit down and chat and help get you up to date and vision for the future and those types of things. If that works with all hands. Sometime, you know, maybe at the where we go, Jack Black Chicken or someplace like that. Would that be all right with you, Fred?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, Jack will set that up maybe. And I think it's Larry's turn to.
Charlene.
It's Charlene. Oh, it's Charlene's time. Okay.
Charlene, and then me.
All right, we'll get together and welcome you back on board and try to get you back up to date with where we are. That's good. Good to have you back, Fred.
Good to be back.
Okay. Comments from
Hello.
Mark.
No, wait. Before Mark goes, I'd like to say something.
Go ahead.
Okay. Something we haven't talked about, and something we need to think about, in my opinion, on Veterans Day. There's a few things happening on Veterans Day. One is Veteran of the Year, and that's going to involve the mayor and us and other things going on. At the same time, not the same time, but on that day, the new Veterans Revised or Revitalized Memorial is going to be dedicated, along with the MVAC flags and and several other things. Okay, and Mark he'll tell you he has some ideas about having some other things happening that day. So I think we need to make sure we are all together. We meaning MVAC and the veterans and the town together, making sure we make this happen properly. So I'm thinking a meeting between at least MVAC and the veterans, okay, and the Legion to get together, and then maybe go back to the town and say, this is what's happening, this is what we think should happen. Town, what do you think? Okay, so that's my thoughts. Please think about that as we go forward.
Okay, Mark?
Mark, talk about the bricklayer.
You're more than welcome. All right, does anybody else have any comments from our visitors? Well, Joe, do you have any comments?
Hey. Oh, no, sir, I don't have any comments, but thank you for letting me attend.
All right, let's move on to new business, and that's new member candidates. Right now, we have two candidates who have applications in. Joe and Bill Campbell. And I have sent them to you all for review. And perhaps Larry will want an application too, and he certainly can get back to us, and we can get him one if he is interested. Glad to have him on board tonight. But the two applications I've sent to you. Lori has them, and our normal procedure is that we'll take the month and review them, and during the following month's meeting, we'll have it on our agenda, and we will have the candidates come in one at a time so we can talk to them after we reviewed it, and then they step out and we vote on the. Assuming we get a favorable vote, it goes on to the town. The town is really the ones who formally do the assignments. They will, I'm sure, accept our recommendations. They always have. I think some of the last ones were consent items on the agenda, so there was no real issue about it at all. So that's kind of the way things happen. I got some guidance from some of the members of the executive committee that maybe I ought to be looking at. We go through 2-year tours here, and then when the 2-year tour is up, we got to reapply or at least re-sign. And so I've come up with that, and I've got 3 of us who need to do that. But I'll let them know individually. And that's probably nothing more than just signing the application we've signed in the past and going ahead and submitting them. So everyone else was okay. But that's one of the things that's hard to do, just to keep up with, at least I find. Okay, are there any other things we need to talk about? Well, I appreciate you all being here. We had a good quorum, a great meeting. Good to have Fred back. And having our visitors. And it seems like this group is always outspoken, which I think is fantastic. So if there's nothing else that we need to talk about, I'll attend a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we're going to vote on it. Jim Thurman.
Hey. Aye.
Peter.
Aye.
Fred.
Aye.
Larry.
Aye.
Jack.
Go for it.
Charlene.
Aye.
And I say aye. Therefore, with the power invested in me by whatever, our meeting over, and Charlene is going to put together the minutes that she brilliantly writes and far better than I could ever do. So thank you all for being here. Good meeting.